Forget the golden statues. The real story of the Oscars happens before anyone even walks inside the auditorium. In exactly 90 seconds, a single dress can launch an actress into global superstardom or change the entire fashion industry forever. Today, we are opening the vault on the 25 most jaw-dropping Oscar gowns in history. We are talking about a custom couture gown that got run over by a FedEx truck the day before the show.
The FedEx driver ran over my Oscar dress.
A red carpet look that was secretly just a $22 Gap t-shirt, a 90-second walk that required $6 million in diamonds, and the absolute masterpiece that spent 50 years hidden in a plastic suitcase before selling for an absolute fortune. The secrets stitched into these dresses are juicier than the movies these women actually won for. Let's get into it. Number 25. Now this is the one that genuinely stopped Hollywood. Demi showed up to the Oscars with her then-husband Bruce Willis in a literal homemade outfit she had stitched together herself the night before.
Ladies and gentlemen, Demi Moore and Bruce Willis.
Black bike shorts, a velvet brocade bustier, a half-skirt that critics swore looked like it had been cut straight from her bedspread. The Women's Wear Daily headline the next morning was, and I quote, "Thank God no designer is to blame." But here's the wild part. Bike shorts under formal wear is the entire foundation of what every luxury house from Balenciaga to Vetements is putting on runways right now. Demi just invented athleisure couture by complete accident, decades early. Industry insiders now point to this exact night as the reason the celebrity stylist became a real profession. One outfit, one night, the whole industry rebuilt around it. Number 24. Marion was barely known to American audiences when she walked the carpet that year, but the second she stepped out of that car, the entire world stopped. Jean-Paul Gaultier had designed her this stunning mermaid gown, completely covered in thousands of tiny silver paillettes that caught the flashbulbs like liquid metal. The dress was incredibly heavy, but she moved in it like water. And then she went and won Best Actress for La Vie en Rose, playing Edith Piaf, completely in French.
Olivier, t'es pas là ce soir, mais t'as changé ma vie.
Almost unheard of for the Oscars. Every mermaid-style gown you have seen at every wedding for the last 15 years traces straight back to this single, breathtaking moment. Marion's win that night basically launched her American career overnight.
And the Oscar goes to Marion Cotillard, La Vie en Rose.
And the dress is still considered the high water mark of literal meets luxury red carpet design. Number 23. Okay, so Geena was nominated for Thelma and Louise that year and showed up in this absolutely outrageous custom gown.
Two great actresses, both of them nominated for Best Actress this evening. Thelma and Louise themselves, Geena Davis and Susan Sarandon.
Short in front, long flowing train in back, ruffles for days, with little black straps and a black bow at the waist. The fashion press dragged her so badly. Worst dress lists everywhere. Magazines were brutal for months. But here's the thing nobody saw coming. In recent interviews, Geena has said she still has that dress packed away in bridal preservation boxes, and she has zero regrets. Look at it now, and it reads like pure, whimsical coquette fashion 30 years ahead of its time. The look has had a complete reappraisal among Gen Z fashion historians who now call it one of the most underrated Oscar gowns ever. Number 22. So Reese was the favorite to win for Walk the Line that year, and instead of going custom couture like every other A-lister, she did something completely unheard of at the time. She wore a vintage 1955 Christian Dior gown, silver beading head to toe, that her stylist had found tucked away in a tiny vintage shop in Paris. The thing was so heavy she could barely walk. She has said publicly, years later, that this is still her favorite outfit she has ever worn, out of every single thing she has ever owned. And she is the kind of woman who has worn a lot of beautiful things. She basically launched the whole vintage red carpet movement that night. Without Reese in 2006, there is no archival sustainability conversation in fashion today. Number 21. Picture this, the softest blush pink, a strapless drop waist bodice, and a skirt absolutely exploding with layered ostrich feathers like something out of an old Hollywood dream. Atelier Versace, designed by Donatella herself, Penélope was nominated for Best Actress for Volver that night, and even though she lost to Helen Mirren, every single Best Dressed list the next morning had her name at the very top. The gown brought feathers screaming back into bridal fashion. It still ranks in the top 15 red carpet gowns of all time in major fashion polls. And to this day, when you search fairy tale Oscar dress on Pinterest, this is what shows up first. Donatella has called it one of her favorite custom commissions in Versace history. Number 19. This dress is the entire reason Prada became Prada. Yeah, you heard me. Before this, Prada was best known for those black nylon backpacks every girl had in the 90s. Then Uma showed up to the Pulp Fiction Oscars in this lavender chiffon empire waist gown with a soft sheer wrap, designed by Barbara Tfank during her stint as a Prada design consultant, and the entire fashion press lost it. Front pages the next day weren't about who actually won. They were about what Uma wore. The dress single-handedly reframed Prada as a luxury house and basically birthed the modern celebrity stylist economy. One dress did all that. Wild. Variety's complete book of Oscar fashion later called this the gown that launched 1,000 celebrity stylists' careers. And honestly, they were not exaggerating. Number 18. Liza picked this incredible canary yellow Halston outfit, long sleeves, a t-shirt collar to the floor, made entirely from this fluid silk crepe that danced when she moved. And here's the part that gets me every single time. She chose the color yellow as a direct tribute to her father, iconic director Vincente Minnelli, whose absolute favorite color was yellow. She has said in interviews that she put it on that night and just knew she was going to win, and she did. Best Actress for Cabaret, beating 4 other massive talents including Diana Ross. Halston was her closest creative collaborator and dearest friend, and choosing his modern design in her father's favorite color made this dress a quiet, beautiful love letter to 2 of the most important men in her life. That, oh honey, is what fashion is actually supposed to do. Pure, personal, unforgettable. Number 17. This is the dress that wrote the rulebook for what we now call timeless. Grace walked the carpet at the 27th Academy Awards in this glacial, ice blue French silk satin gown by Edith Head. Spaghetti straps, draped bodice, matching tailored evening coat, white opera gloves, little yellow roses tucked into her hair. The bolt of French satin alone reportedly cost $4,000 in 1955, making it considered the most expensive Oscar dress in the world at that time. She won Best Actress for The Country Girl, beating heavy favorite Judy Garland.
Moment keeps me from saying what I really feel. I can only say thank you with all my heart.
And less than a year after this exact night, Grace would walk away from Hollywood forever to marry Prince Rainier III of Monaco. Every minimalist Oscar gown ever made since is basically a footnote to this single, perfect ice blue moment. Number 16. So Charlize had just done one of the most extreme on-screen physical transformations in cinema history for Monster. Completely unrecognizable, prosthetic teeth, no makeup, deliberately deglammed. And then on Oscar night, she walked the carpet in this champagne gold Tom Ford for Gucci gown, spaghetti straps, fully crystal encrusted, hair platinum, skin bronzed, basically saying to the world, oh, you forgot I was a movie star? Surprise! She won Best Actress that night, and the contrast between her on-screen role and that gown is genuinely one of the greatest reveals in Oscar history. Tom Ford had announced his Gucci exit days earlier. This was basically his farewell to the brand. The dress is now widely considered proof of concept for everything Tom Ford built afterward as his own independent fashion house. Number 15, 2 months. That is how long this Gucci gown took to develop. Brie won Best Actress for Room that night, and she chose this stunning lapis blue silk organza ball gown with cascading ruffle layers and a heavy navy velvet belt covered in jeweled embroidered flowers. Designer Alessandro Michele said the color was inspired by lapis lazuli, the exact deep blue used in Renaissance Madonna paintings. After the ceremony, Brie personally mailed the dress back to Gucci's archive in Italy because she felt it belonged in the brand's history, not her closet. Who does that? Who has that level of self-awareness about a single fashion moment in their own life? It tells you everything you need to know about Brie Larson as a person, and it kicked off a decade of Gucci dominance with younger actresses. Number 14, bubblegum pink Ralph Lauren ball gown, spaghetti straps, full taffeta skirt. Shakespeare in Love won her Best Actress. The speech ended in tears.
And the Oscar goes to Gwyneth Paltrow.
I would like to thank the Academy from the bottom of my heart.
And the look became the most copied prom dress in America for the entire year that followed. But here is what most people don't know. Gwyneth had no stylist, none. She picked the fabric from a Ralph Lauren lookbook days before the ceremony. Her own mother, Blythe Danner, reportedly hated the dress, and Gwyneth removed light padding from the bodice herself the day of the ceremony, which is why the top sits a little loose in every photo from that night. She has now promised the dress to her daughter, Apple, for prom one day. That dress is one Hollywood Hollywood time capsule that is going to outlive every one of us. Number 13. Jessica won Best Actress for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, a role she had personally fought to bring to the screen for 10 straight years. She wore custom Gucci by Alessandro Michele to accept her award, a bronze to emerald ombre tulle ball gown, fully sequined, with this dramatic ruffled hem cascading down the back. And here's the styling detail that genuinely stopped me cold. The ombre gradient was carefully aligned to start exactly where her famous red hair ended, so the whole look read as one continuous flow of color from head to toe. Some critics called it a drag queen meets mermaid moment. I call it method dressing perfection. Tammy Faye absolutely would have worn it herself and loved every single sequin. It was Michelle's last great Gucci red carpet moment before he left the brand. Number 12. Olivia walked the carpet that night in this absolutely stunning custom Prada gown, emerald green silk with a sleeveless turtleneck design and a smoky gray organza cape that turned into a giant bow at the back, dotted with Swarovski crystal flowers. The whole thing took a team of 8 people, 120 hours to construct, with 300 more hours just on the embroidery. And here's the iconic detail. The dress had pockets. Pockets. Nobody puts pockets in haute couture. Olivia was so visibly nervous on the carpet that she kept tucking her hands into them. Then she went and won Best Actress for The Favorite in one of the biggest upsets in Oscar history. Her speech was famously hilarious, ending with, "This is hilarious."
And the Oscar goes to
Olivia Colman.
I love you all. Thank you.
The whole moment is pure cinema. Number 11. Julia won Best Actress for Erin Brockovich that night, and instead of commissioning a brand new couture gown, she did something nobody else was doing in 2001. She wore a vintage Valentino pulled directly from his 1992 archive. Black velvet, white piping running down the front in a clean Y shape, a cascading tulle train. Valentino Garavani himself reportedly said it was the look he was proudest of in his entire career, out of decades of dressing the most famous women in the world. Watching Julia walk up to that stage in a 9-year-old dress, beaming, hair loose, completely radiant, it set off the entire vintage couture revolution that is still going today. She made old-fashioned the new flex. Julia, in one 90-second walk, rewrote the rules. Number 10. Custom Givenchy Haute Couture by Riccardo Tisci, a gold column gown with cream to bronze crystal fringe along the hem that swayed like a 1920s flapper dress every time she walked. Now here is the historical bookend that genuinely gives me chills. When Emma won Best Actress for La La Land, she became the first leading actress to win an Oscar wearing Givenchy since Audrey Hepburn in 1954. A 63-year gap, same fashion house, 2 completely different generations of golden Hollywood. The dress was Tisci's last major Givenchy moment before he left the brand weeks later. Over 1,000 hours of hand-beating by a team of 11 people, and the fringe deliberately echoed the 1920s dance numbers from La La Land itself. Emma literally walked onto that stage shimmering like a moving Oscar statuette. Number 9. Big Custom Christian Dior Ball Gown by Raf Simons. Strapless, pale pink, massive structured bell skirt. And then, as Jen walked up to the stage to accept her Best Actress Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook, she stepped right on that giant skirt and face-planted onto the stairs. Hugh Jackman jumped up out of his seat to help her. The entire internet stopped breathing for 30 straight seconds. And here's the actual magic of it. The photos of her sprawled across those marble stairs in that pink cloud of taffeta look like a Renaissance painting hung in a Florence museum. The fall did not ruin her moment, oh honey. It made her one of the most beloved actresses of her entire generation overnight. The Dior team backstage was reportedly horrified. Jen just laughed and accepted her Oscar. Number 8. So picture this. The day before the Oscars, Sharon's custom pink Vera Wang gown literally fell off the back of a FedEx truck, got run over, black tire tracks straight down the front. With one day to go,
It slid off the back of the truck, and he didn't have the truck in park, and the truck backed over. I had a pink dress, and it had a giant tire track.
her Basic Instinct costume designer Ellen Moroznik raced over, and they basically built a look from Sharon's actual closet. A black Gap mock neck turtleneck, a Valentino skirt, and an Armani tuxedo jacket worn like a coat. A $22 Gap top. That is it. She walked the carpet looking more expensive than every couture gown in the room. She still owns that turtleneck to this day, and she invented modern high-low dressing that night by complete accident. Zendaya's 2022 Valentino moment, a direct, intentional homage to this exact look. Sharon's confidence rewrote the entire rulebook. Number 7. Her debut at the Oscars. She had only ever been in one feature film, and she walked that red carpet in a custom pleated Prada gown in this powder blue color she personally requested and named Nairobi Blue because it reminded her of the sky over her hometown in Kenya. The crystal trim along the pleats was designed to look like champagne bubbles catching the light. There is a tiny gold frog totem from her family hidden in a sewn-in tag inside the dress. She won Best Supporting Actress that night for 12 Years a Slave, and her speech about every little child whose dreams are valid no matter where they are from is still one of the most quoted Oscar speeches ever given. The dress went straight back to Prada's archive in Milan. Lupita brought a piece of home with her, and the world fell completely in love. Number 6. So this is the dress that genuinely changed how Hollywood works with fashion houses. Nicole walked the carpet in a chartreuse silk John Galliano for Dior gown, hand-embroidered with chinoiserie panels, mink-lined, completely unlike anything anyone had ever worn to the Oscars before. The fashion press begged Nicole to explain why she chose, quote, such an ugly color.
It just seemed like an exquisite gown and creation. It was made for me and made for my body. It was just fantastic.
But the very next day, every fashion editor in the world was pulling out their notebooks because Nicole had just shown them what couture houses and movie stars could actually do together when given full creative freedom. Without this dress, there is no Zendaya Valentino, no Lupita Prada, no modern red carpet at all. She invented the whole modern celebrity couture house contract economy. The Smithsonian formally lists this gown as one of the most influential Oscar dresses of all time. Number 5. Custom Valentino Haute Couture by Pier Paolo Piccioli, officially titled, quote, Force de Beauté, strapless, lemon yellow, 300 hours of artisanal labor by the Valentino Atelier. And then on top of that gown, Bulgari paired her with around $6 million worth of diamonds, including one 6-carat yellow diamond pendant. $6 million for one walk down a carpet. Stylist Law Roach openly told everyone that the dress was a direct tribute to a yellow Bob Mackie outfit Cher wore on television in the 70s. Zendaya was not even nominated that year. She arrived purely as a fashion event in herself, and every single TikTok creator under 30 stopped what they were doing to film that walk in real time. Modern red carpet, the entire economy of it, captured perfectly in one canary yellow moment. Number 4. So Elizabeth was nominated for Best Actress for Butterfield 8, a film she has openly said she actually hated and was forced into by her studio contract. She showed up that night in this stunning Christian Dior gown by Marc Bohan called Soirée à Rio, a yellow chiffon bodice, hand-embroidered with insects and flowers, with a little crimson silk bloom at the waist and a green taffeta belt. She won, and here's where the story gets unforgettable. Elizabeth treated that gown like a lucky charm and carried it everywhere with her in her travel suitcase for 10 straight years. Then in 1971, she gave it to her longtime personal assistant, who packed it away in a London spare room. They found it again, completely untouched, in 2022, 51 years later. The dress quietly sold at auction for over £200,000. Number 3. The Swan Dress. Designed by Macedonian designer Marjan Pejoski, a crystal-encrusted body stocking, a tulle and feather skirt, a sculpted swan's neck draped over her shoulder, an orange beak resting right on her chest. Björk walked the carpet, paused, and pretended to lay an egg. Multiple eggs, actually. The whole world ridiculed her. Worst-dressed lists for years. Then the Met featured the dress in a major exhibition. Then MoMA. Then the London Design Museum. Now it has its own Wikipedia page, has been parodied in every comedy show from White Chicks to Hannah Montana, and every meta moment Lady Gaga has ever pulled traces directly back to this gown. Björk played the long game and absolutely won. The dress is now formally listed among the top 10 red carpet gowns of all time. 25 years later, the fashion world has finally caught up to her vision. Number 2. Custom Dior Haute Couture in pristine ivory white, sleeveless, with delicate feathered fringe along the hem and a matching beaded headpiece. Michelle accessorized with a diamond headband and chandelier earrings by Moussaieff, and then she walked up to that stage and made history as the first Asian woman to ever win Best Actress at the Academy Awards at 60 years old. Her speech is now legendary. Ladies, don't ever let anybody tell you are past your prime. She held that statuette up and called it a beacon of hope and possibility for every little girl watching at home who looked like her. The dress was the perfect choice because white at the 2023 Oscars carried this powerful theme of new beginnings. It is one of the most quietly perfect history-making fashion moments in the entire 95-year story of the Academy Awards. Number 1, and this is the dress that started everything. Audrey won Best Actress for her Hollywood debut in Roman Holiday, and instead of commissioning a brand new gown for the occasion, she did something almost no winning actress has ever done before or since. She pulled the white floral lace dress she actually wore wore in the final scene of the movie itself, took it home, removed the formal jacket, and redesigned the bodice into a soft bateau neckline inspired by her new friend Hubert de Givenchy. She walked the Oscar stage in essentially her own film costume. Time magazine has voted it the greatest Oscar dress of all time. 70 years later, it still tops every Pinterest prom board on Earth. The original sold at auction for around $130,000 in 2011. Audrey did not chase trends, oh honey, she quietly made them. From a dress made out of a literal swan to a Gap turtleneck pulled out of a closet in pure panic. What these 25 gowns really tell us is something way bigger than fashion. They are 70 years of women deciding what they wanted to say to the world in 90 seconds, without ever opening their mouths. Audrey upcycled before upcycling was even a word. Sharon Stone proved confidence beats price tags every single time. Reese pulled vintage out of a tiny Paris shop and started a whole movement. Lupita brought her hometown sky with her. Michelle Yeoh changed history at 60 years old. And Björk? Well, Björk just laid an egg on the carpet because she felt like it. Every single dress on this list quietly says one very simple thing. The most powerful thing a woman can wear on the biggest night of her life is something she actually chose herself. So tell me, which of these dresses did you genuinely fall in love with watching this? Drop her name in the comments below right now. I read every single one and I genuinely want to know. And if you love diving into these red carpet stories the way I did, hit that subscribe button. We do this every single week, and trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next.